I've always wanted to own my own business, but I have no idea where to start. I don't have enough money to buy specialty equipment, and I don't even know where or how to sell. If any of those thoughts have ever crossed your mind, make sure you keep listening all the way to the end. Because what I know now, I wish I would have known just a little earlier in the process. I was thinking the exact same things a few months ago, and what I figured out is going to allow me to start. I'll be able to sell things like these for almost zero upfront cost. That's right, I don't need to buy these fancy machines, and I don't need to pay thousands in advertising costs. What did I do to get started, you might ask? Well, I had to find something to sell. To some of you, that might seem like the easy part, but for me, this was one of the most difficult. What I did to make deciding easier was write out a list of everything I was good at. This included skills such as fabrication, designing, and machining. I then did some research into potential products that I could create with my skills. This involved literally going to Google and typing in products to make and sell as a welder, as a machinist, as a fabricator. I also went a step further and categorized each product into industries. You see, I have the most experience in the agricultural fabrication and repair industry, but making this list helped me figure out that starting off in an industry like that takes a lot of money with big equipment. I crossed off machining because of the risk associated with tolerancing and specs. But at the end of the day, I decided to start with the custom fabrication of signs. How the heck did you decide on something like that? Well, you know, the list of all the products I could make, that was under my welding and fabrication skill set. And I'll tell you exactly why I decided on that. One, being I had a great idea on how to make these for cheap without buying any equipment. Two, these are low risk, low cost options to get started. And what I mean by low risk is that if the product fails, I don't really lose a whole lot. And three, Christmas is just around the corner. What better time to get started? This is a great opportunity to generate a little bit of income to jumpstart a fabrication business. I now know what I want to sell, but I don't have enough money to buy the necessary equipment to make it. I'm just going to jump straight into the point here. That is to outsource your product until you have enough revenue generated to buy your own equipment. That's what I'm currently doing. I'll go through a quick example, starting from the beginning. I'm okay at design work and probably could have made this myself if I really wanted to. However, after a quick search on Etsy, I found an entire DXF monogram pack for $2. After I bought that, most of the design work is done. Next, and possibly the most difficult part, is trying to find someone to cut these out for as cheap as possible. I quick mocked up a sign with the generic last name and sent out a few drawings to local plasma cutters and laser facilities. The reason this is the hard part is because most of the companies won't do one-off projects, especially the laser cutters. But I managed to find a few. I found most of the facilities by doing a quick Google search. Where I found luck and where I suggest you go is to go to Facebook Marketplace. I know if you're anything like me, you want to stay as far away from that place as possible. However, if you know what you're looking for and you're willing to put in a little bit of work, it could be rewarding. So I just typed in plasma cutter and there were like 4 or 5 different businesses in the area that were trying to advertise their CNC plasma cutter. So Facebook Marketplace, again, is good for a few reasons. One, if they're advertising here, they're most likely just starting out or are very small. This means they are more likely to accept small and one-off orders and at a good price. The only laser place that got back to me was actually much cheaper than all the other plasma cutters. Here's a breakdown of the numbers. Now, my main goal with this is to make enough profit to buy my own equipment, because once I do that, my margins will skyrocket. Actually, I probably should mention something. I know I'm telling you guys how to do this, but I'm also applying these same tactics right now. And I mention this because I'm currently trying to figure out the best way to jumpstart this little business of mine. And that involves making these products as cheap as possible. Now I confess, after I had a few signs outsourced, I realized there was a cheaper way to make these. It's only really applicable to me, and that is to use my work's equipment. Since I work at a small company, one of the perks is that the CEO allows me to use the company's plasma cutter and other such tools. All I really have to pay for is material. As you can imagine, this puts me in a very good situation where I don't have to pay for machine consumables or even electricity. I just pay the sheet steel, which, by the way, this 5x10 sheet that I usually cut the signs out of only cost me like $85, also ordered through my company. So I'm going to milk this situation as best as I can. With this setup and how I'm currently running the prices, I would have to make about 500 signs to buy this starter plasma cutter brand new. This is the Langmuir Systems Crossfire Pro. It has like a 4x3 cutting area, so I can put a full-size sheet on it, or a full width. On the other hand, I was thinking I'm an engineer, so instead of buying something with marked up prices, why not try to make my own? It'd be a lot cheaper. And now that we have a means to make the product, we need someone to sell to. That leads us to our marketing strategy. As you could probably guess by now, I don't really know how to market, so I went to YouTube. And what I found out for this particular market is that the online or the Etsy world is so saturated with people cutting out plasma cut signs, it's almost impossible to get started with the fresh online store. Then I saw this video, and this video intrigued me. Basically, he said, since the online market is so competitive, why not try local? So I went to the Nextdoor app, and it went surprisingly well. All I did was make a post like this, showing a rendered image of the sign, and I said I was selling them for the holiday season. I had like 8 hits on the first post. I know now that most of these were in fact because of the holidays and people getting late gifts and such, but nonetheless, they were sales. After a few more posts, I started to realize my local sample, so to speak, was pretty small. I'm located in a rather rural area, and not to mention everybody on the Nextdoor app, they are like 60-year-old grandmas. So after you sell 1 or 2 to them, you're kind of not doing so hot after that. So I decided to mix up my strategy, and that's when I found this guy. I saw a few of his videos, and he seemed to know what he was talking about. So I tried out a few of his tips. First, I hit up about 50% of my warm leads. If you don't know what a warm lead is, it's basically a contact that you know. Friends and family mostly. So I asked a handful of friends and family if they wanted to buy some. And to my surprise, it was a hit, and all I had to do was ask. Finally, it might sound counterintuitive, but I just gave a bunch more away. That's right, since it was around Christmas time, I made approximately 10 to 15 for gifts and such, and I just gave them away. I gave them away and I asked if they liked it to refer me. If they liked it, to refer me to a friend. And that's where I'm at today. I'm just waiting for the referrals to get in. Okay, so now to the fun part. If you guys remember way back at the beginning of the video, I said it might be cheaper to actually build a CNC plasma cutter rather than buy one. Well, guess what? After selling more than 15 plus of these signs at about $50 a piece, I have made enough to actually get started. So you already know what the next few videos are going to be about. If that's something you're interested in, go ahead, give this video a like, and do all the other things that you know how to do down at the bottom. Stay tuned. This will be an epic build series. As always, thanks for watching.